Welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to see such a great turnout for our fabulous dessert cooking class this evening. I'm Lisa Wade from Plant-Based Advocates. We're an all-volunteer nonprofit organization. Our mission is to educate the public on the advantages of a plant-based diet, which are, of course, health, the environment and animals, and social justice. Our website, Karen is going to put that in the chat, but if you're interested in volunteering for us or if you'd like more information, our website is plantbasedadvocates.org. We do things like organize talks, cooking classes like this one. We also work in the schools. This evening, we're very honored to host Isabel, and this is your third or fourth time with us, I think. Always very popular and in great demand. So we're very excited. Isabel runs a mini sanctuary called Chlorophyll. She's going to, I'm sure, be telling us more about that. Welcome, Isabel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm going to switch to that. So if you want to unmute. Okay. And the sound. Okay, we are switching computer because I have a cameraman that is going to follow me in the kitchen. So welcome everyone. My name is Isabel. I am the founder of Chlorophyll. We are an all-volunteer non-profit advocacy group, animal advocacy group. We have here in our backyard a micro sanctuary. Basically, we have a few chickens and a turkey, all rescued from the egg or the meat industry. Actually, our dog is also coming from such a farm. She was raised for meat. Our work is really to share, to grow awareness about, animal agriculture, how amazing they are as individuals, and how we should not eat them. And this is making a cooking class that is 100% vegan, plant-based, is exactly about that, to show you how delicious we can make the food taste and look with just plants. Tonight, I have my dear friend, Carrie, helping me. She's going actually to be the one monitoring the chat and asking me questions when you ask her, because we can't, there is a lot of people on the call, but there is also echo problems if we turn on the sound. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer that, anything I can. So tonight, we are going to make two desserts. Well, you probably already guessed by then, I'm from France. I can't hide my accent. And two of the amazing desserts I'm going to do tonight is the profiterole. Profiterole, I don't know if you know what they are, but they are basically little cream puffs, except we remove the cream, we put ice cream, and we top them with chocolate. And the art of what I'm going to show you tonight is how to make those little puffs without eggs, because eggs is really a key ingredient there. And then I will show you a crème brûlée, which is, a very typical French dessert. And both of those desserts are going to impress your friends for the holidays and any other days. Okay. Well, I think we are going to start. I don't know why I forgot to introduce the cameraman that
Most
you will
important.
not see is my husband, Peter, who is always up to my crazy projects. So welcome everyone, and let's start. So I'm going to make a profiterole. So all the recipes I'm going to do tonight are on my website. I send them in the link with a Zoom link. It's called Cuisine de Chlorophyll. And you have the video actually of me making those recipes. You have a PDF file you can download, and there's all the ingredients and all the steps. Okay. I will talk about that later. So let's start. So the choux is the choux dough. I don't think there is really a name in English for it. That's why I'm going to keep it calling choux, is going to be made with milk, the flour. So I'm using soy milk. I'm going to use water, and I'm going to use butter. The butter I'm using is from Earth Balance. Let me show you the packaging. So Earth Balance, it's a plant-based butter. I use it everywhere when I cook. So let's start by melting the butter. In a pot. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup water. A 1/4 cup soy milk. I love this milk. It's from Trader Joe. It's really like 2 ingredients, soy and water. Nothing else. I use it for a lot of my baking. Okay, so now I'm going to let the butter melt and bring that to a slight simmer. And again, if you have any question as I go, please type them in the chat. And I'm starting the profiteroles now because they cook for about half an hour, and I really want you to see them before the end of the class. Did you send them the link to?
I'm going to be sending it in just a minute.
Excellent. So this recipe took me quite some time to veganize it. This was a dessert we were making when you had a special occasion at home. But it counts so much on the egg. Oh, talking about the egg, just eggs. I will take that. So you will see the order. I mean, one of the things in this recipe, what's important is the cooling phase and what needs to be cool and what should not cool. So here I'm melting the butter. It's almost there. I'm waiting for a little simmer. I don't want to put it too high because I don't want to burn anything. I'm always tempting a little bit. And here what I'm going to do is, as soon as it simmers, is throw the flour in it, because I'm going to want to cook that flour. And that's an important step. I'm using bread flour because it's a lot of gluten, and gluten is actually what I want in this recipe because I want the puff to really puff up. I tried with, a flour with a little bit less gluten, like einkorn flour. It works fine. The puff just are less, not as puffy. Okay, I have the simmer happening. So I'm throwing everything in there. And now you want maybe to watch what's going in my pot. Because now I'm going fast to make sure everything is incorporated.
What temperature do you have the stove set at for the?
I just lower it a little bit. I added a medium high. Now I'm squishing all flour. I don't want any flour yet. But I'm making everything flat against the pan so the flour has a chance to cook. And you see everything is detaching pretty well from the pan. Okay, I'm switching off. It's enough. So really fast. You see, I don't want anything to burn. And I don't see any flour anymore. Okay, so now that this is cooked, I'm going to want to cool down that dough. So I'm putting it in a glass jar. And if you were not in a hurry, you could just leave it like that to cool down to room temperature. Now, because I'm on a time schedule, I'm going to make it cool faster by spreading it against the glass. This is just to cool down, nothing else. And then I'm going actually to put that in the freezer for 5 minutes. So actually, you could do that. And Carrie, thank you so much. Okay, so she's putting that in the freezer and she's going to time it for 5 minutes. Now I'm going to do the other part of the dough, which is the egg part. So I don't need that pot anymore, and I'm going to take actually the just egg in the fridge. I don't know if you're familiar with that product. I mean, this is magic. I mean, any recipe that uses egg, you could basically, replace that with this eggs mixture from just egg. I don't know if you guys get that in Canada. I would be interested. So what I'm going to do is take my recipe. And for those who aren't curious, this is made with beans, mung beans. So I'm going to use half a cup of that. And you can make omelets. I make crepes, I make quiche with that. Very versatile.
And you can buy that in almost any store, right?
Yes. Yeah. I got this one at Andronikos in the store buy. It's Whole Food. It's
in the egg department?
Yes, it's next to the eggs. Yeah. Okay, so I have half a cup of just egg. I'm going to add a quarter cup of milk, soy milk. And because we're making something sweet, I'm going to add a little bit sugar, not much, because the pseudo normally is not very sweet. So it's really like a quarter teaspoon, it's almost nothing. All the sweetness will come from the ice cream and the chocolate. And then I'm putting some vanilla extract. Well, actually, no, sorry, oops. Reading the recipe, it's half a teaspoon of sugar, a bit more, and only quarter teaspoon of. Okay, so I mix that. And I'm going to incorporate that with the dough that we just made, but I want that dough to be cold enough. So when I put the egg in there, they don't cook right away. I want really the egg to cook in the oven. And that's critical because that's what makes them puff nicely. So while the dough is cooling down, I want to show you the different alternatives to eggs, because this is sometimes, I found that a lot of people, it's easy to replace meat because there is so much alternative there. I mean, there is tofu, tempeh, seitan, beans and all, the good whole food plants. But for eggs and milk, often people have, it's a bit more difficult. So eggs, just eggs, what I use a lot when I need a lot of eggs, like quiche, crepes we mentioned. But if I want to make, to make a cake, like a regular, cake, I would use simply applesauce. I would use a quarter cup of applesauce to replace one egg. Very versatile. It adds some moisture into the cake. Really nice. You could buy, there is also those egg replacer in the market. It comes in the form of the powder, and you mix it with some water, and they tell you the instructions. So here is 1 tablespoon with 2 tablespoons of water, and basically you have 1 egg. One I love to use also is flax seeds. When I really use, because the thing is with eggs is they're already used for binding, right? All the ingredients together. So when you put flaxseed meal, that's important, they need to be grounded, with water, it makes this thick gelatinous substance that is perfect to bind all, the flour and all the other ingredients of your baking. So those are great substitutes. Okay, how far are we with the timer?
We got about 1 more minute.
1 more minute. This is excellent. So I'm going to prepare. Actually, I'm going to move that and bring this to put the little puffs. And I want to show you my super high-tech piping. So once I'm going to have the dough, I'm going to have to pipe with little puffs. I mean, you may use a fancy piper, but the dough is super, super sticky. So it's really hard to put in there and clean and everything. So I just use a kind of storage bag, fold it in two and then use a little, oh, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is it?
Still feels a little warm.
Yeah. Depends with where. Okay, and then I use a little duct tape. And I have this pipe bag where I will show you how I will use that. It's not cut yet. I'm putting the dough first, and then I will cut the tip. Okay, so I think it's cool enough.
You think it's cool enough?
Yeah. Okay, so now you have to be a little bit patient because you don't want to put all the egg mixture with the dough. You have to integrate it slowly. So I'm bringing all the dough down. This choux pastry is, something we use like that in dessert, but we've used it also with a recipe I love, which is called gougère. It's basically cheese puffs. So instead of making it sweet like I'm doing now, we make it savory, and instead of the vanilla and the sugar, I would add cheese instead. And of course, you could use, any of the shredded vegan cheese that are out there. I love the one from Daya because it melts so well. And then you have a little appetizer. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to make for Christmas. You see everything is coming together here.
No questions.
Okay, so my choux dough is ready. I'm going to use my very high-tech piping bag. Just a bit messy, and especially when I have to do it by myself.
How do we make the piping bag out of a Ziploc bag? Can you explain that again?
Yes. So basically, I took a Ziploc bag. I think this is the big one, the
1 gallon.
1 gallon. I fold it in a triangle. So I took the one of the corner and put it, up to make it a triangle. Then I taped with duct tape the side. I will show it.
Yeah, because you want to know why you use the duct tape.
Well, it's to keep it in a triangle shape.
Okay, to hold its form.
Well, let me wash my hands first, quickly. And I'm going to put it in the oven first before doing all the oven.
Good idea.
Okay, so I'm going to zip my bag. And now I'm cutting the tip.
You just cut it straight across or at an angle, or?
That's not very important.
Okay.
It's kind of a little bit random, honestly. Okay, and I'm piping my little puffs. So you make them, you could make them as big or as small as you want. The cooking time will, of course, depend on it. I like to have them kind of bite size.
Right.
So I make them, I don't know, this is what, an inch, 2 inch wide.
Yeah, Jan was asking, could you get away with not folding the Ziploc into a triangle?
What you want?
Just squeeze it carefully.
Sure.
This just makes you look much fancier.
It looks more like a pastry bag at the end, right? Because it's and you could use totally a pastry bag too.
Yeah. But in a pinch, always a Ziploc and duct tape.
The thing is, it's very sticky dough and so hard to work.
So you can just toss it after you.
Yeah, I know it's maybe not the best.
Eco-friendly.
Yeah. Okay. How much I have? 2 more maybe? Normally, depending on this, if you make small one, you should be able to make like about 15 of them. You know how I have 12, 14. So maybe I'm going to have 14.
Okay, do you have to use parchment paper or can grease pan and pipe on dough?
Yeah, as long as it does not attach. That's really the requirement. My baking sheets are very old and used. So I am going to beat some more up. Okay. Now I am going to just flatten them a little bit, just a little thing on the top. Because at the end, I want to put chocolate sauce on it. I want it to be a bit flat. But not too much. Okay. So now they are going to go in the oven. So talking about the oven, I didn't say that at the beginning, but my oven has been preheating at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the temperature you want it. Once I'm putting that in, do not open the oven until it's really done. So I'm going to turn on the oven light. And you don't want to open to check on how it's cooking because they are just going to deflate, those heat-up, and you don't want that. So I'm going to set a timer. Do you mind setting a timer of 30 minutes? Yeah, okay, that would be. So that should be ready just before the end.
Yeah, 55, yeah.
Okay, excellent. While they're cooking, actually, I do have a batch. Well, I can show you already now. So I made a batch this afternoon because I'm not going to have time to show you how to make the all profiterole with those, because even when they are going to be done, they need to cool. So I made a little batch already, and I cut them in two. So those are the little puffs. And the nice thing about them is you can make them ahead of time, right? You don't have to make them as when you're serving them. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make the chocolate sauce first. So those are my little puffs. We are going to put like ice cream in between, but we are going to cover them with chocolate sauce. And I think that's what I want to show now. Okay, chocolate sauce. So the recipe of chocolate sauce is not mine, but I put it in the recipe anyway, and I refer to My Quiet Kitchen, which is the website where I found that really nice recipe, very easy to do, and above all, a chocolate sauce that stays liquid or soft at room temperature, which is what we want. Okay. So let's start with half a cup of cocoa powder. I need also vanilla, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is the end of my vanilla cup. And then the sugar is going to be maple syrup.
Wow.
And they call for 6 tablespoons because my cocoa is unsweetened, so sugar is important. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we are going to put some milk in it. This time I'm going to use another milk just to show you different brands. This is Oatly. It's oat milk. I love it to drink as it's when I want just a glass of milk or hot chocolate. That's the one I'm using. The other one I prefer for cooking. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. But there are so many different type of milk. Okay. Let's stop that, and then I can continue talking. Okay, so I'm just mixing that and putting that on medium high. I want to warm it. Everything is going to melt. And I want something a little bit thick and creamy. Now it's very powdery, but you will see it will turn in the sauce. Yeah, what I was saying about the milk is there is so many different type of plant-based milk that it's really hard to say. I mean, if it's your first time trying to find the one you want, you really want to try as many as you can to find the one you like. And not do like me at the beginning where I say, okay, I want a plant-based milk, and I just go to the store and buy, I think it was a rice milk, and I did not like it. And then I say, oh yeah, then plant-based milk is not for me. So try the different brands, even like oat or even the rice, depending on the brand, they do taste different.
Yeah, because some of them put a lot of stuff in it, and some of them are just plain, which works out well.
Yeah.
I had someone come back just real quick regarding parchment. Can you again say whether to use parchment or grease the pan? Someone else is asking the difference.
Okay, I use parchment because I have a very old baking sheet and everything attached to it. And I don't want to add fat also. There is already a lot of butter in those little puffs. But if you add something else that makes sure does not attach to the pan, that would work fine.
Okay.
Okay, you see, it's starting to look like a chocolate sauce. And I'm going to do maybe 1 more minute. So it is not minute there. This sauce is so nice. You can also make it ahead of time. It keep in the fridge. If you put it in the fridge though, you would need to warm it a little bit, or at least put it at room temperature before using it. So it's not too thick. Okay, I think that's the right consistency of what I want. It's going to thicken anyway. Okay, so let's turn that off. Okay, because I want to show you how to build the profiterole right now. I'm not going to use that sauce because it needs to cool down, but I'm going to use this one because I made a batch like earlier today. And this is how it looks like. You know, after cooling down. So perfect. I mean, it's like liquid, but not too much. I mean, you could make that sauce for anything. I mean, like on top of an ice cream, whatever you would put on it. This is about everywhere for me. Okay. Well, I need the ice cream. It's in the freezer. Yeah, in the fridge. Okay, so I put the ice cream in the fridge because hopefully it is going to be a bit softer. Oh, I'm using the one from Oatly, so same brand as the one I'm using, the milk. And you want a vanilla, I mean, whatever brand you like, but vanilla is the classical version to make profiteroles. So I'm going to start maybe making, I don't know, the first row, and then we see. There. Oh, this is perfect. You don't put too much, you know, just a little. And then you put the little at back.
And with these, you can also do like a cream insert.
Yeah, those will be cream puffs. That would be great too. Actually, this dough is also the one we use to make eclair.
Oh, okay.
And then it will be more like a chocolate cream. But I mean, the fancy profiterole have ice creams.
Sorry, what is the ice cream? It's the Oatly vanilla.
Yes.
And it's the same company that she does the milk with.
Yeah. But honestly, any brand, I mean, whatever is your favorite vanilla ice cream. I like, this one is based on oat, but I like the one that's based on coconut too. Or cashew. Ooh, cashew.
Yeah, cashew's good.
Okay. Okay.
Fancy.
Are you ready now for the final? So I'm not going to do all those. I'll only do that later. I want to go to the other recipe.
You and Peter can eat all those tonight.
You can stay a bit longer, Carrie. Ooh. Can we get a bit less on the next one? So that you do, of course, just before serving, right? Especially because of the ice cream.
Yeah, the chocolate sauce is very shiny.
I mean, okay, so imagine now that all the others are like that. I mean, now you bring that to your the table, your holiday table, and I'm sure you are going to have a lot of whole and half from all the guests. I wish I could get you to test them. Carrie, do you want one? Or just a little one?
I can try a little one as long as you don't show me eating it.
Okay, well, I'm going to be the one eating it.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers. All right. How to put in your mouth, you know? One.
Mm.
I can't talk. Uh-oh. Okay. Except for the chocolate on the floor.
Mm. Delish.
Trust us, it was pretty good. Okay, let's move on to the next recipe. So should I leave that next to you? Can you put that back in the, maybe in the freezer, actually? Thank you. Okay, we're good in time. So let me move to the other side. Okay, let's do the crème brûlée now. So one of the things I talk about the different milk, the soy and the oat, but honestly, what I love using is cashew, raw cashew, especially when I make anything creamy. And the crème is by definition, creamy. So I'm going to use raw cashews that I'm going to blend and make that very thick crème. So let's start. I need, and those are my cashew. I use so many of them that I have a big container. 2 cups, 2/3 of a cup of cashew. 1, 2. You will notice that I do not soak them, and that's because I have a super strong blender. It's a Blendtec. If you do not have a super strong blender, then you would want to soak your cashews probably a couple of hours before or overnight. I mean, you can't soak them too much. So 2 cups of raw cashews, milk. I'm using the oat milk, and I want 1.5 cups. So half, 1, 1.5. Now I want to put some sugar. Half a cup.
Is that raw sugar?
This is cane sugar. Let me take a clean cup. So half a cup sugar. So cashew normally is enough to make something very creamy and thick because there is a lot of starch in the nuts. But in this recipe, I found that I needed to add a little bit more cornstarch or potato starch in my recipe to make it more look like a real crème brûlée. So this is 3/4 tablespoon of cornstarch. And then vanilla extract. It's good I had another bottle. And that's a lot because, and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon, which is a lot. But this is the main flavor that we see in France in crème brûlée. Okay, so I have all my ingredients. I close my blender. And I'm going to cream all that. It's going to be super loud. And actually, I think that Zoom is actually going to replace it with silence. So don't worry, we are still there. It's going to take about a minute. That was better. Plugged? Yeah. Ta-da! I have my crème. Well, I have it in a very liquid version. So now to thicken that, I'm going to use my saucepan and to heat everything.
So you're pouring it in a cold pan. The pan's not.
Yeah, it
heated
was
up.
not. But now I'm heating it.
Okay.
So I am again on medium high. And
what is the name of your blender again?
Blendtec. The other good, I mean, the other super powerful brand is Vitamix.
That's what I have.
Oh, that's what you have. Okay.
A lot of people know it.
Yeah.
Everyone's writing in.
Okay, so here you want to whisk constantly so nothing burns at the bottom of the pan. What I'm doing there, if you remove the sugar, okay, basically if you take the cashew and the water, you don't even put milk or anything. Here I want super creamy. I'm making regular cream. But if you want to make like a bechamel sauce or white sauce that you would put on lasagna, on pasta, or something really creamy, you would do something very similar where you put the cashews and you would put the water and you will blend them, and then you put that in a pot and it will thicken as you cook it. And if you make a roux, this is the same thing. Usually you use butter and flour, but because the cashew have both the starch and the fat, you actually don't really need either of them.
So this is the cream for the crème brûlée?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, great. My battery's dying. But I'm watching the clock here.
Okay. Or maybe, I don't know. Or look at the little puffs. I don't know, Peter, if you can have a little look at the puffs. They are puffing up.
We have,
We're not ready.
we have about 10 minutes
10
left.
more minutes.
Wow, they look
pretty nice.
They look good.
Okay, this is slowly thickening.
Yeah, cashews are the base for almost everything that you
For
make.
a lot of things. I mean, for me, it was a big help when I switched to, to stop having dairy, was replacing, all the cream and the butter. I mean, I'm from France. We use so much dairy everywhere and everything is so creamy that cashew really stays to me there. And if you go on my website, I have other recipe where I use this kind of base recipe of cashews. I make lemon curd with it. So I can make nice little parfaits. Okay, you see how it's thickening? Give it a little bit more time. Okay, and everything is going to go.
And this is good from Savannah. She says, using the cashews, that helps because she's lactose intolerant and it's a struggle for sweets and food. It's a challenge.
Okay, so first I want to tell you that you're actually lactose normal. We should not be able to digest lactose as an adult because lactose is the little enzyme that babies have to drink, the milk of their mothers, to digest the milk of their mother. And there is really like 60, I think it's more than 65% of people in the world that are like, that don't have that enzyme anymore and cannot digest lactose. And this is actually totally normal. Okay, you see how thick it is? It's really nice. I'm pouring it in my little ramekin. Maybe I went a little bit too generously. Normally I make 4 of them. I think I filled them a little bit too much. Let's see. Somebody's going to have a small crème. Oh, not so small after all.
Thank goodness for spatulas.
The thing is, the cream is so thick that it really...
yeah, look how thick it is.
And it's getting thicker, you see, with time. The first one I poured were like flat on top. So actually, this is something important I want to show you. Is you want the surface of your cream. Sorry. I'm in my kitchen. I'm just like licking my fingers and it's good, Anyway, so those I'm not going to touch because this is what I want. I want something very flat. This is not okay because when I'm going to put the sugar and try to burn that with those little mountains, that's not going to work. So actually, I'm going to stir it. Much better. This one is fine.
Well, that's good. That was a good show and tell.
You see? And the thing is, it's really thickening. Okay, now this is way too hot first to eat or to, burn. So I'm going to put that in the fridge. And in the fridge, well, actually, if you can bring the 2 others. So I made another batch. Oh, excellent, thank you. And those have been in the fridge for, actually, I made them yesterday. So that's the other nice thing is you could make them a couple of days beforehand and only take them out when you need it.
I noticed she didn't have like plastic over it. Is there a reason not to have a cover over the?
You could, yeah. Actually, maybe you should. I don't have, yes, probably. Okay, a word about the sugar I'm going to put on top of those. Use something called, I'm going to, castor sugar, no? Castor sugar, thank you. Or superfine sugar, I think it's called in the US. It's a sugar that is between the granulated sugar and the powdered sugar. So it's thin, but not like as thin as the powder. Now, if you go and look for it, it's super expensive. So what I did is I took granulated sugar, put it in my blender, and I get that.
Clever.
The reason you want something fine is because when you're going to burn, you want first to go pretty fast, and you don't want like big, printers, big
granules of sugar.
Yeah. Okay. So I take about 1 teaspoon, sorry. Thank you. And I really want it. So I have a little brush. But I want it to be very fine, really everywhere. You have to be careful not to work the sugar in the cream. I mean, it's hard enough, but don't push too hard. Okay. So I have 1. Or maybe I can do that and just spread, but this one is moving. And you don't want the sugar to be too close, to be thick on the side because it's going to be really hard to get it. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, now I'm going not to try to put fire in my house.
Where's the fire extinguisher?
So this is a torch, a big one. This is what the professionals use. You can find a smaller version like at Solar Table or something like that. So I'm going to turn it on. Okay, so I want a strong flame, not too diffuse, but like pretty strong. I'm going to put it vertically on top, like that, but not too close. You see how the sugar is melting? Too much sugar in that corner. Okay, so that's pretty good.
Someone said next time maybe switch Zoom auto settings so we can hear it. It's just a low buzz. You don't really hear a lot with the flame going on.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Zoom remove the big noise. Okay, let's make the other one. No? Yeah. We do actually, right?
The stuff comes out of the oven in a minute.
You see, I put too much sugar in that corner. Okay. Okay. So here I have 2 crème brûlée. So I don't know if you can see here, but I did put a little bit too much sugar in that corner. Actually, I think it was a little hole in the cream, so that didn't get burned. But everything is looking really good. Let me take a spoon.
What kind of gas is in the canister?
Butane.
Butane. Yes.
Okay. Can you come close? The nice thing is, you hear that? I'm going to crack it. And now you have this delicious cream with a burn in it.
It smells really good.
Hey.
Oh.
You try it. You tell me. Okay, well, you get the whole cream.
It is so good.
And the cream part is really easy to do. And you could honestly just do the cream and put some fruits on it and serve it. That would be perfect. The burn part is a nice little plus. It's fun. You do need practice because my first cream were not looking that beautiful. They were like either too much burn or there was like, weird, how do you say, cluster of sugar. But so that's another thing that you can easily, serve on your holiday table, and that looks really nice. So you can choose, or you can make it a dessert buffet. We should do a Christmas like that, just dessert buffet. I have so many other recipes too. Okay, I hear you're ready for the puffs.
Yep, they're ready to come out.
Okay, they look really nice. So I'm going to switch off the oven. I'm getting my cooling rack ready.
What can you use if you don't have a blowtorch? You need a torch.
The torch, yeah. I know some people do a broiler the broil in the oven. It does not come out the same. You don't get that crispiness. And you can really buy those little torch, at solar tablet or something. Okay. So look at
those beautiful.
So when they get out of the oven, they're really hot. And this is because they're puffed up and there is like air bubbles. There we go. I need to put that back in the oven because I don't have space. Those little puffs, so you can make them in advance. The only thing you need to know is the more you keep them, the softer they are going to be. And that's fine. Especially if you serve them, with ice cream. But when I do the cheese version of them, the savory version, I like them to be a little bit hard. So I really make them just before kind of serving them. And I like the savory one to be hot. Here we need them to cool. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. So if you have any question, please ask.
We can take them off mute if you want.
Well, or through the chat, I think is best.
Any questions?
The thing I want to point is if you go on my website, like using the chlorophyll, and I think Carrie gave you already the link, there is all my recipes. So for each recipe, there is a PDF file. But what I did also is I have a recipe collection where I put all my recipe in one PDF file. And they are sorted, I think, at the beginning. They are sorted by kind of type. You have the order, the soup, the desserts. And you will notice the dessert is the longest list. I wonder why. But so this is free. You can download it. It's my treat to you. Also, I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who donated when they make a reservation, when they book for that class. I really appreciate that. All your donation is going to our education work and the care of the animal we rescue. So thank you very much. And if you have not done yet, any donation yet, Carrie just sent, I think, the donation link. So we really appreciate your support. I will send probably tomorrow or the day after a recording of this class. And I will repeat the link to our recipes. And if you have any question, you have my email address. So please do send me questions. And to finish, I want to thank you one last time, the Plant-Based Advocates.
For doing that.
For organizing that. For my dear friend Carrie, for being always there to help me and support me.
I think thanking Peter for being the sound man, the IT man, the cameraman, and making sure everything in the kitchen works.
And the taster at the end.
Yeah, the big taster.
So thank you, everyone. And with that, I'm going to wish you a very happy holidays. Thank you.
Till the next one.